How dare you live in luxury on my misfortune? You're just my daughter-in-law. Leave, you're a nuisance. Even seeing you here in the middle of an argument with my husband. My mother-in-law, suddenly changing her tone, said these harsh words. Remarks to my mother-in-law? What happened? Do you think I don't know anything? I've heard everything from Ben. I know you're wasting Ben's money and piling up debts. He doesn't need a wife who wastes his fortune. Leave now. I had planned to put up with my mother-in-law's behavior to keep my marriage, but I was stunned by my husband's betrayal. There was no reason to support them anymore. They were ungrateful. I understand. I'll leave, I said. Though it hurt, I decided to go as they asked. My name is Lily. I'm 29 years old and work from home. I've always been weak and fragile. My mother raised me alone, and she's 65 now. She's always worried about me. Even if you're not strong, there will be times when you have to support yourself. I can't always protect you, Lily, so you need to learn how to survive on your own. I understand, Mom. I'll do my best. I've lived with my mom for a long time, but after dropping out of high school, I started working from home and learning on my own. Even when I felt tired, working at my own pace felt right. At first, I only earned around $300 a month, but over time, my income grew. People thought I was a shut-in, but I was following my own path. A few years later, my income was much higher than the average for my age, and I stopped caring about what others thought. Your work is going well, and I'm so relieved. Now I can feel at ease. When my work stabilized, my mom felt proud and happy, like it was her success too. At the same time, my mom, who worked in a supermarket deli, got promoted to a leadership role and became very tired both physically and mentally. Mom, how long are you going to keep working? We can live off my income, so why not quit and enjoy life? Seeing my mom struggle every day, I couldn't stay quiet. She never imagined that I, so weak, would be the one to support her. She was moved by my suggestion, thanking me with tears in her eyes. Eventually, she quit her job and started living more peacefully. She sometimes helped with my work, but mostly she enjoyed a calm retirement, going on trips with friends and having nice meals. She regained her energy and spent her days happily. No matter how busy I was, I always had dinner with my mom, and we talked about our days. I had lunch with a friend today. Her daughter just got married, and she's excited about having grandkids. You're busy with work, so maybe you don't have time for a relationship right now, but I hope you find someone wonderful one day. Hearing this, I replied, slightly uneasy. Marriage, huh? I never really thought about it seriously, but I guess it's something to look forward to, right? That was a conversation I had with my mom. To be honest, I hadn't thought much about marriage. I've been sick a lot since I was young, often in and out of the hospital. I had to drop out of high school due to my health. With that background, I didn't have many friends or experience with dating. But, like my mom said, maybe marriage and children wouldn't be so bad if I met the right person. I began to hope for that. There was a time when I thought this dream might come true. One morning, I took some time off and went to the mall alone. While there, a salesperson at a jewelry store approached me. Are you looking for a gift? I'd be happy to help. Yes, thank you. I'm looking for a necklace for my mom's birthday. Do you have any recommendations? This was the first time I met Mark, who would later become my husband. A gift for your mom? That's wonderful. Let me show you some options. Do you have a budget in mind? I haven't decided. If I find something I like, I'll buy it. Please show me your best recommendations. At the jewelry store, I hit it off with Mark. We chatted while looking at jewelry, and soon exchanged contact information. It was an unusual connection between a customer and a store employee, but we were naturally drawn to each other. I ended up choosing a very expensive necklace Mark recommended for my mom, but what really stuck with me was the exciting conversation with him. After that, we stayed in touch and went on dates from time to time. Our relationship quickly blossomed, and we started talking about marriage. My mom noticed I was different, and when I told her, "Mom, I'm thinking of getting married," she was happy, but not surprised. "I noticed you've been looking more lively lately, so you must have a boyfriend. I'm so happy you're thinking about marriage. I can't wait to meet him." For me, being nearly 30, the idea of marrying in my 20s seemed like a dream, something I hadn't even considered until recently. My mom seemed to feel the same way. Later, when I introduced Mark to my mom, we found out he was also raised by a single mother. "I will definitely make Lily happy. Please allow me to marry her." With such a confident promise, both my mom and I couldn't help but smile. For my mom, my getting married was unexpected, but she was happy to see me with someone she trusted. We hadn't been dating for long, but it felt like fate and good timing. My mom understood that and was genuinely happy about our marriage. After that, I went to meet Mark's family. Little did I know this would change my life a lot. Like me, Mark lived at his mom's house. When I arrived at their home, a quiet house in a peaceful neighborhood, his mom looked me up and down and said, "I heard Mark wanted to get married, so I was curious about what kind of person you'd be." but you're so plain. I thought he'd marry someone flashy and confident. This is a surprise. Mom, that's a bit rude. You shouldn't say things like that to someone you're meeting for the first time, Mark said, trying to stand up for me. My first impression of my mother-in-law was terrible. I couldn't understand her, and her creepy smile made me feel uncomfortable. It looked like Mark was trying to support me, but he also seemed careful not to upset his mom. Nice to meet you. I'm Lily. I've been dating Mark with marriage in mind. Oh, I've already heard about you from Mark. Your name, your age, your job, and even that you come from a single-parent family. She cut me off, looking at me with sarcasm. She was unpleasant, that was the perfect word to describe her. Then she said, I have no objections to the marriage, but Mark and I plan to live together. After you two marry, we'll buy a new apartment, we'll live there, all three of us. If you can't accept this, then maybe marriage is off the table. I hadn't heard about this. It seemed like Mark and his mom had already planned everything, where we'd live after marriage. They handed me a brochure for the luxury apartment they planned to buy. It was a very expensive, 4-room condo. This is a fancy condo, so the three of us will live here together. Yeah, didn't I mention it? I can't be away from Mom, even after marriage. I worry about her, so if you marry me, we'll live with my mom. You understand, right? I felt uneasy when I saw Mark's expression, but I was confused and didn't know what to think. Mark was still kind to me afterward, and I started believing in his goodness. In hindsight, I should have said, I need time to think, but when I got home, my mom was so happy about my marriage that I couldn't delay talking to her. So, Mark and his mom's plan for our life together began. Fortunately, the new condo was close to my mom's house. If anything went wrong, I could visit her easily, and she could come to my apartment. That was a positive. However, I didn't get the life I wanted. As soon as we moved in together, my mother-in-law said, Lily, you understand, right? From now on, you'll take care of my daily needs, cleaning, laundry, and of course, cooking. I'm counting on you. I thought I would be trusted with everything, but my mother-in-law started acting strangely, watching my every move. She told me I couldn't contact my mom, and my mom wasn't allowed to visit. The most shocking part was that I had to pay for everything in the house. Do you know who you should thank for living in this nice apartment? Don't ever forget your gratitude to us. What did you just say? My mother-in-law didn't seem to understand that I was the one supporting the household. She thought Mark was the one paying for everything. You might be happy with the little money you make from your computer work, but to us, it's nothing. What good is that small amount of money? I was stunned by her harsh words. She clearly didn't understand the financial situation. I thought about showing her the bills, but I decided to talk to Mark first. Why doesn't your mom know that I'm paying for everything? She keeps saying I'm living off her, and she seems to think my earnings are nothing. What's going on? Are you bothered by that? It doesn't matter what she thinks. Actually, I helped get this condo, so it's natural for her to think that way. Mark said this confidently, but since we got married, he hadn't contributed at all. I had been paying for everything, furniture, appliances, you name it. He just laughed it off and didn't offer any help. I couldn't believe it. This wasn't the kind person I had fallen for. My trust in him started to fade, and my resentment toward my mother-in-law grew every day. One day, he came home excited, saying he bought a new luxury car on a loan. I got a new car that suits this condo. It's on loan, but it's better than a small car, right? Isn't it cool? Since moving in, Mark's whole attitude had changed. He wasn't materialistic before, but now he was buying expensive suits, luxury shoes, fancy watches, and now a car, without even talking to me first. Don't you think this is too much? Are you sure you can make the payments? I can't handle any more expenses. I haven't paid a penny since we moved. Just as I was about to speak, he interrupted me. Are you serious? Who do you think you are? You should be grateful you married me. If I hadn't approached you, you'd still be living with your mom doing remote work. I was speechless. I couldn't believe he would say something like that. I couldn't take it anymore. Stop it. Who should be grateful here? Making expensive purchases without consulting me is crazy. Enough is enough. What? Don't talk back to me. Don't mess with me. The situation was about to turn physical when my mother-in-law appeared, hearing the argument. What's going on, Lily? Such a hot-headed attitude. I've been listening, and I've had enough. Spending all this money using my son's hard work. Get out. You're a burden. My mother-in-law didn't listen to me at all and blamed me as if I was the problem. I was just stunned by her sudden and unreasonable accusations. What are you talking about, mother-in-law? You think I don't know? I've heard everything from Mark. I know how you're wasting his money and getting into debt. We don't need an economic parasite like you. Just leave. I had planned to put up with my mother-in-law's behavior for the sake of my marriage, but Mark's betrayal shocked me. In reality, I wasn't living extravagantly or in debt. These two were the ones wasting money. Ungrateful was the only word for them. Mark laughed and agreed with his mom's words. What will you do now? Apologize or leave? If you leave, I won't stop you, but just know that means divorce. Fine, I'll leave. I don't need the furniture and appliances I paid for, I'll leave them behind. I wanted to throw their words back at them. Thanks to me, they were living in a luxurious condo. I'll file for divorce online now. Can you sign it quickly? I'll take care of submitting it. I started searching for divorce papers online. My mother-in-law looked pleased, happy to see me leaving the condo. Maybe she didn't understand how life would work out after this, but I didn't care. I packed my things quickly, signed the divorce papers, and left the house. My mother-in-law kept making sarcastic comments until the end, and Mark seemed happy too. I'll submit the divorce papers. There will be no alimony or division of property, just sign here. Sure, I'll sign it. I was worried you might try to claim this apartment. Turns out, I was worried for nothing. As I quietly left, feeling indifferent to the apartment, I emptied all my bank accounts. I knew people might criticize me, but I was ready to face it. After all, every penny in those accounts came from my hard work over the years. When I got back to my mother's house, she was shocked to see me. I'd been worried. I called so many times but couldn't reach you. I even went to your condo, but they wouldn't let me in. Are you okay? What? A call? What do you mean? Surprised, I checked my phone and found that they had set it to reject my mom's calls. I couldn't believe it. They went so far to prevent me from contacting her. I told my mom everything about what had happened since I moved out. That's terrible, unbelievable. Even my usually calm mom was angry, but without me, they couldn't live in that high-rise condo. It's okay to just leave them be. The next day, I went to the office, submitted the divorce papers, and the divorce went through without any issues. What a short-lived marriage, I thought. Returning to my mom's house helped me regain my peace of mind, and I could focus on my work again, securing a steady income. At the end of the month, as I expected, I got a call. It was from Mark. Hello, Lily, it's Mark. I'm in a bit of a bind and need your help. What? I'm busy right now, I don't have time for this. I knew it was about money. They were probably struggling with expenses. We're having trouble with the condo's mortgage and utility bills. I had to sell the car and pawn my watch, but it's still not enough. Can you help me? Please, I'm begging you. As expected, they couldn't pay their bills. It sounded like they were in a tough spot. That's unfortunate. If we were still married, I might have felt obligated to help, but we're divorced now. I'm not generous enough to lend money to a stranger. Sorry. I know, but you're the only one I can turn to now. Please help. I could hear his mom yelling in the background. Ask your dear mother for help. I passed the phone to my mother-in-law. What's wrong with you, Lily? Being so cold? Was your former family in trouble? Can you help? Our accounts are empty. You gain nothing by holding a grudge. You're the lowest. What are you talking about? That was my money. You kicked me out of the house, and now you think you can ask me for help? If you keep this up, I'll charge you for all the living expenses I paid for. I had intended to stay calm, but I got frustrated and ended up threatening to charge them for all the money I had spent on them. Surprisingly, it hit them hard. Wait, don't do that. We're just in financial trouble and need help. Please, don't burden us any further. We promise we won't bother you again. Lily, is that okay? I had had enough. I told them, I'll let it go this time, but if you contact me again, I'll bill you for all the past living expenses. Okay, understood. We won't contact you anymore. I managed to cut ties without them coming back. I thought they would keep bothering me, but it turned out they were really struggling financially. After that, I blocked their numbers. I was relieved they wouldn't contact me again, but one day my mom told me she saw them packing and leaving the condo. They looked miserable, not at all like people who lived in a high-rise condo. Apparently, they couldn't afford the mortgage or utility bills anymore. They're still dealing with debt, and the house hasn't been sold yet. It was a case of them getting what they deserved. Mark had worked at a jewelry shop, but he didn't make much money. He finally realized that the condo and lifestyle were thanks to me, but it was too late for him to understand. I want to start fresh, focusing on spending peaceful times with my mom. I'm currently living comfortably in my childhood home, but I'm planning to find a new house to live in with her as a way to honor her. I'm considering a barrier-free luxury home, and I'll take my time finding the right place for both of us. Lily, you've always been great at your job. Keep it up. I'm here to support you, my mom said. Her kind words encouraged me, and I was determined to work hard for her from now on.